WWE star with WWE Legends there, or was it something that you were really aware of or thinking about?
It's funny you say that. I was actually very nervous, but once you meet them, they're normal people, and they treat me just like they would treat anyone. And after talking to them, I really calmed down a lot, and they gave me some really good advice. I love Honky Tonk Man. He gave me the best advice ever. And Shelly, she's a really nice girl, and it was funny working her because the girl I'd been working with, and the match for Shelly was only my third match or fourth match, but my first two, I had wrestled the same girl, and she's a really big girl. So getting in there with Shelly, she's a really tiny little girl, so it was just totally different. And, every single person you work with is a totally different, situation. And, but I learned so much, and it was a big crowd. I was really nervous, but, Shelly calmed me down, and it was a really good show. And I learned a lot.
And I actually wanted to ask this, and you brought it up. Who was your first match against?
Nyla Rose.
Okay. Now, recently, you had won the Covey Pro Women's Championship. There was a title that has been held by Mickie James, Nyla Rose herself, Amber Rodriguez, and more. What does that mean to you to be such a part of such a big legacy this early in your career?
Oh my gosh, it's amazing. I went home and cried that night. It's one of those things, especially, as early as I am in my career, I would have never imagined it. But, honestly, it gives me so much motivation. I'm the champion. I need to prove myself. I need to get better, and I need to show people that I deserve it. And it's such an honor. And, looking back 2 years ago, I'm just in my room watching wrestling, and now here I am, the champion, and it's crazy.
Who did you win the championship off of?
Oh, it was Nyla.
It was Nyla. Okay.
Now, we do enjoy watching your matches because you have a great sense of the technical side of wrestling, and also you seem to really you enjoy putting everything out there, everything you have into your matches. What would you say are some of your favorite moves in your repertoire, and how long did maybe some of the the more complicated ones? What's the process of putting kind of a move set together?
I think you really have for example, I'm a bigger girl. It wouldn't make sense for me to be doing high flying moves, stuff off the top rope. It really wouldn't make any sense. So, I think especially with the girls, choose your move set based on, your body and what makes sense. So, and also I believe in, you really don't have to do crazy things. You don't have to do a million different moves to be good and to look good. You really have to just focus on the things you like, focus on simple moves. And if you can make them powerful and, make them mean something, then I think, that's better than doing a million things and not putting effort into it. I stick to pretty basic things, spears, backbreakers, neckbreakers, DDTs, suplexes, German suplexes. My finisher is a Michinoku driver. So I try to use my strength, because I do have that, which some girls don't. And I can, get people off the ground and be powerful. And, I have certain girls that I watch and take things from and, learn from, and that's definitely helped me a lot.
Taking them to Suplex City. Very nice.
Yes.
A lot of the female guests that we've had on women's wrestlers on our show have oftentimes wrestled in intergender matches, things like that. Is that something you can see yourself doing in the future? Like you said, you are strong. Is that something that would interest you to kind of enter into a match like that?
Oh, definitely. I train with all boys, and they're big boys. They're all over 6 foot tall. So, and that's a really great way to learn because, I wrestle with them, and then I go in matches with girls a lot smaller than me. So, I know if I can do something to these big guys, I can do it to the girls. And I would definitely be open to that. It's funny, a lot of things I said I would never do, now I'm doing. I remember a year ago saying I would never do a cage match. Now I have a cage match in January. But, I'm just at the point, I don't really say no to anything. I just kind of accept all opportunities, and, what's the worst that can happen? You can fail, but you can learn from it, and you can get better. So I'm just kind of open to anything.
Hey, let's talk about that cage match. Where's that taking place at? Who is your opponent? And how does that happen? How did you get booked into a cage match?
So it's for EWA in Maryland, and I've actually worked for them a few times. I wasn't wrestling. I was managing, rallying. So, and they had their cage show, and, they contacted me and were like, would you want to do this? And I was like, I don't know. That sounds terrifying, but, why not? They said, they thought I could do it. I'm a pretty tough girl, I think I can do it. So, and it's with Nyla. So, I've been in the ring with her. I'm comfortable with her. So, I'm nervous, but I'm excited too.
Cool.
Well, something we always like to ask our female guests is, because we like to get a variety of answers on this question. Women's wrestling really seems to be flourishing on an independent level, even at NXT level and TNA, and picking up steam in Ring of Honor. But when you look at WWE, it seems just kind of, it's still not catching on, I think, to the level that we would love to see it at. Being a woman in the industry, do you see anything that might be disconnecting or that you think could change at the WWE level that would make it become to the level that we think it could get to?
Like you said, it's definitely getting there because of NXT. And I think, and when I first started watching wrestling, there was no NXT, and there was no, you didn't know how people got there. And I think, they hired a lot of models and, just not as many, independent wrestlers. And I think that's how it should be. If you really care about wrestling and you want to become a wrestler, you should go through this. This is what you should do. This is how you learn, You have to respect the business and, take it slow and learn the right way. And like I said, though, I think it definitely is picking up and getting a lot better over time, which is good because, it's the time that I'm, coming into it, wrestling. But I don't know. It's true, though. The talent on NXT seems to get a lot more attention than, the main roster, especially lately.
Yeah, definitely has been. And all three of us, me, Jim, and Matt, are huge women's wrestling fans, and think you guys definitely deserve the spots, that aren't the buffers in between, titles and things like that on a card that it should be,
exactly.
proud and on the front page, and it should be on flyers. And the one company that we work for actually has Nyla Rose, I believe, booked the day after Christmas.
Yes. What is it?
The LCW.
Yep.
So very.
I think you have to prove yourself, and I think now, people don't really know who I am. People have never seen me work, and I get that. And I think it's going to take time for people to, actually, look at me as a wrestler and not just a girl, on the show. And I think it's going to take time, but, I want to prove to people that I'm serious about this and that I care about it, and I really, want to make it.
Awesome. Now, you had said that the Glamazon Beth Phoenix was what kind of your idol growing up when you started watching wrestling. We ask this question to everybody, and a lot of times the answer does change, so I still want to ask it. Your dream match, if you could have any match with any superstar, past or present, who would it be?
Besides Beth, and this is going to sound crazy, but I've always thought about this. I'd have to say Awesome Kong. And it's funny, I looked up to her, too. I looked up to the scary ones. But I would say her, current, definitely Natalya. I was a big Alicia Fox fan. AJ Lee. I mean, definitely Beth in the top ranking, but, that'd be really cool. I've thought about it a lot.
Now, you've brought up a couple of the bigger sized divas, women's that are wrestling. Do you like what they're doing in NXT with Nia Jax right now?
Yes, definitely. I definitely want to see more of her. I think, and it's never really made sense to me, I understand there's a few small girls in wrestling, if that's your gimmick, you know what I mean? You do high-flying moves, that's it. But I think there needs to be bigger girls because it's wrestling. You're supposed to be big and strong and powerful. And, it's funny because when I first got into the business, first started training and everything, I've lost a lot of weight since then, but I was overweight. And I had a lot of people tell me, you're never going to make it because of the way you look, no one's going to respect you because you don't look like the typical diva. And, but I would look at these divas, Beth and Awesome Kong and all them, and, if they can do it, why can't I do it? So they were definitely very motivating to me.
And have you watched NXT Takeover? I assume you watched wrestling.
Huh?
Did you watch NXT Takeover last night?
Not last night. It's hard for me to, because I train most nights. So I missed a lot of stuff, but I do have the network. So
okay. Just wasn't sure if you wanted to talk about the two matches that were on there. Jim and I are going to talk about it later in the show. How we thought they both probably stole the show. I just wanted to open up if you wanted to talk about that as well, but that's fine.
I have not seen them yet, so.
Well, I think you will enjoy them when you get to. They definitely they were very different in the way the matches played out. Obviously. But very good on both counts. So definitely, definitely is something that I think you will enjoy.
Definitely.
Just to close up here. What does the future look like for you? I mean, what are your goals in the business? I mean, I know this has kind of been your first year, and it seems like it's been quite the whirlwind of a year. But what? Oh yeah. Definitely. Where do you see yourself in a year or 2 years down the road?
I just want to get as much experience as I possibly can, wrestle every single, girls of different sizes, girls from different places, go everywhere I possibly can because, you really can't learn just being in the same place, wrestling the same person. You really can't. So just, get as much exposure as I can and, learn as much as I can. And I don't ever want to feel like I can't get any better. I'm always working on something. As new as I am now, I have everything to work on. But, I just want to continue to get better and never settle for where I'm at. And, I've come too far to give up. So I'm just going to keep pushing and, see what happens.
Fantastic. Now, just, so everybody can keep track of you and your career and, just let everybody know your social medias and also where they can catch you. Any bookings coming up that you have?
I have a book. I have my 2 January shows. I have the one January 16th, which is EWA in Maryland, and then I have on the 20. I want to say it's the 24th. I have a show ECWA against Diana Perazzo, which is, I believe the 24th, which I'm really looking forward to. And then I have a few shows in February, which I'll post about on my social media. And Instagram and Twitter is Maria Spiro with 3 A's, so MariaaSpiro. And then I have my Facebook page, which is Maria Manic.
All right, great. And we thank you for joining us tonight. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we let you go?
Well, thank you so much for having me. And I would just say, anyone that's interested in wrestling, go for it. There's no reason not to. Don't let anyone tell you you're not good enough or you can't do this and you can't follow your dreams because you can, and it might just work out. So.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us, and hopefully, I mean, I know you're based out of Virginia. We're in Pennsylvania. I'm sure that at some point along the road we will actually get to see you live, and we do look forward to that. So thanks again, and take care.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, see you in the future. Thank you.
So great interview there. Again, thank you to Maria Manic for joining us here tonight on the show. Ryan, it never ceases to amaze me. I love hearing the stories from people all in so many different stages in their career. I mean, we've had people like, Del Wilkes, we've had referees, we've had, people who are in their first year in the business, and it never gets old. It never gets
People